A few minutes to the 5 p.m. deadline, John Patrick Amama Mbabazi's lawyers Michael Akamplira and Severino Twinobusinje arrived at the Supreme Court premises in Kampala to file a petition challenging the results of the presidential election held on the 18th of February. The incumbent and NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Museveni was pronounced winner with 60.6% of the vote. Supreme Court Registrar Tom Chemtai received the petition after the aggrieved former presidential candidate Amama Mbabazi met the requirements, which include paying a filing fee of 1 million shillings. Counsel Twinobusinje spelled out some of the grounds of the petition. He cited the intimidation of Mbabazi's supporters, defacing his posters, and voter bribery.
He believes that the Electoral Commission organized what can be described as a sham election, which absolutely failed to meet the standards that are ordinarily expected of a presidential election, both internationally and nationally. He thinks it failed below average. For example, there was non-delivery of the voting materials on the voting day. The voting did not start on the right time, at 7 o'clock as was. In fact, in some cases, people started at 2 p.m. Others, voting began at 4 p.m., and yet that was the time to close. In some situations, some people started voting at 8 p.m., and they finished at 1 a.m. And we say you are giving 18 million holes to the voters, so that they do what?
Supreme Court Registrar Chemtai said the respondents to the petition are President Yoweri Museveni, Electoral Commission Chairperson Dr. Badru Chigundu, and the Attorney General.
No, it's supposed to start off, we are supposed to serve all the parties involved, and within 3 days they are supposed to respond. Thereafter now, we fix the date for hearing, which is supposed to be within 5 days after them.
So how can you say you have tallied the results when you have no tally center? Where was the tally center? Chigundu, the results he was announcing, where was he getting them from? So these are some of the things that we would like him to come and tell court where it was and how he did it. Because Section 54 of the Presidential Elections Act is very clear. That's one broad area of non-compliance. Where the electoral materials kept properly. How come you move all over the place and you find people carrying ballot papers on the street even before voting?
We asked the Supreme Court Registrar Chemtai as to whether FDC presidential candidate Dr. Kizza Besigye still had a chance or could be given an opportunity to file a petition after his lawyers earlier complained that they had been denied access by the police to their client.
If they have not filed, that means they can't come in now.
Have you received any other petition?
No, this is the first petition.
Can they ask for an extension of time?
No, that's a matter for the court to interpret.
But Twinobusinje told NTV that the other aggrieved presidential candidates who also want court redress can apply to become part of Mbabazi's petition when hearing begins.
The law allows the joinder of parties. Once I have filed a petition, like this one has been filed, Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye can apply to join, and he will be welcome. He can apply tomorrow, he can apply the day after, he can apply to join as a party. Anybody who wishes to join, you can join as amicus curiae, that is allowed.
The Supreme Court will spend an estimated 100 million shillings on the presidential election petition.
There will be allowances for staff working overtime, including weekends, and of course working beyond normal working hours. It is not very expensive, but there are expenses which would not have been incurred.
According to Article 59, Section 3 of the Presidential Elections Act, the Supreme Court has to hear and dispose the petition in 30 days. Four-time presidential candidate Dr. Kizza Besigye challenged the 2001 and 2006 presidential elections won by President Museveni. But in both instances, the verdict of the Supreme Court justices was that as much as there were irregularities in the election, they were not enough to warrant a cancellation of the vote and a repeat of poll ordered. Sudil Biaruhanga, NTV.